You know, the Premier League transfer window, it's a total battlefield. It's all about strategy, big money, and some seriously last-minute drama. And in the final days of this window, we saw one of the most shocking stories unfold. A deal that was practically signed and sealed get turned completely on its head.
Yeah, that quote from Fabrizio Romano, it just says it all, doesn't it? This move sent absolute shockwaves through the football world because nobody saw it coming. So, how on earth did one of the summer's biggest transfers get hijacked in just a few hours? Well, let's dive in.
Okay, so to really get the drama of this hijack, first you've got to understand how this whole thing was supposed to go down. For more than a week, one club was in total control, Arsenal's big North London rivals, Tottenham Hotspur. Look, Tottenham had done all the groundwork. We're talking direct talks between the club chairman. They had a verbal agreement with Eberechi Eze himself on personal terms. They were totally confident that the deal for the Crystal Palace star was on the home stretch. To anyone looking in from the outside, this was a done deal for Spurs. And this wasn't just some early interest. No, for about 10 days, Tottenham were deep in negotiations, just patiently working to get it over the line. They were in the driver's seat, basically just waiting for the final green light to complete the move. But in the transfer market, certainty is, well, it's pretty much an illusion. Things can change in a heartbeat. And for Arsenal, a moment of pure bad luck on their own training ground suddenly created this massive game-changing opportunity they just couldn't ignore. It wasn't the player having second thoughts. It wasn't a failed medical, nothing like that. The whole thing was flipped on its head by a single, totally unexpected event on the training ground that threw Arsenal's entire transfer strategy into chaos. Just one game into the new season, bam, Arsenal's plans are in shambles. Their key forward, Kai Havertz, goes down with a knee injury in training, and suddenly he's looking at a long spell on the sidelines. The club was forced to make a move. And this is where the dominoes really started to fall. The Havertz injury meant Arsenal were suddenly down to just one recognized fit striker. Instantly, all these concerns about their attacking depth bubbled to the surface, and it created this urgent, desperate need to get back into the market. They had to act, and they had to act fast. So the stage was set. You've got Tottenham over here about to finalize a 10-day negotiation for their number one guy. And then you've got Arsenal, suddenly in panic mode and desperate for an attacker. What happened next was a truly dramatic last-minute heist. The speed of this whole thing was just unbelievable. I mean, think about it. Tottenham had been working on this for 10 days. Then, in just a few hours, the Havertz injury news breaks, Arsenal decide to make their move, they match the bid, they submit a better offer, and by that night, Eze says yes to them. They completely blew up the deal in an afternoon. So how'd they do it? This is where the genius of the hijack really is. Arsenal didn't just throw more money at it, they matched Tottenham's £60 million fee. The difference was in the details. They structured the deal with add-ons that were way easier for Crystal Palace to actually get, and they offered better payment terms. But the real knockout blow? They offered Eze the chance to make what he called his dream move. It was just so swift, so decisive, and honestly so smart. By putting a better package on the table for both the club and the player, Arsenal left Tottenham with absolutely no time to react. Their top target was just gone, snatched away at the 11th hour. But, you know, for Arsenal and their fans, this wasn't just about getting a win over a rival. This whole story had a much deeper, kind of emotional connection. This was about bringing one of their own back home. See, Eze was a boyhood Arsenal fan. He was actually in their youth academy before he was released as a kid. So for him to come back now as a full England international, a lot of fans see it as this romantic deal. The return of the prodigal son, ready to make his mark right where it all started for him. And let's be clear, this is not just a feel-good story. Analysts believe Eze is exactly what Arsenal has been missing. That flair, that ability to just break down a defense with one moment of brilliance. His versatility. He could be the X factor that takes Arsenal's attack to a whole new level. And that's where we are. You've got the two sides of this wild story. For Arsenal, it was a total masterstroke, a win over a rival that brings a game-changing talent home. And for Tottenham, just a gut punch, a deal they had in the bag for over a week, just slipping right through their fingers at the last second. So it leaves us with the big question, right? Was this a calculated masterstroke, a brilliant move when an opportunity opened up? Or was it a high-stakes panic buy because of an injury crisis? Only time's going to tell if this incredible hijack pays off. But one thing is for sure, it is, without a doubt, the story of the transfer window.